Hey traders, welcome to the full market analysis for the 10th of November. Well, we saw a very nice rally over the Asian session on gold, didn't we? If you're trading the Asian session, congratulations. A big fat 700 pips here from the Asian session high to 693 pips to the eventual 895 pips overnight. So congratulations. Now let's do some liquidity values which are important in terms of the next move. So we can see that we've got liquidity down here at 40.11 on the Asian open, and it came up to the price here at 40.85, which was the Asian close, and then the London open took it higher, and now we have another area here, don't we? So we can grab some of these down here. We can say the London and New York Open are the same at 41.05 or thereabouts. So they're interesting areas for us to consider a move. I will cover gold on steroids and how you can manage that if you are trading during the London Open and the Asian Open. Now we can see that if it's gone up 895 pips, there is highly likely to be a correction at some stage. I think that would be a fair statement. So what we can do is expect the price to do this. This is the liquidity zone on Asia, 40.85. So we can expect the price to come down back into this area here. It will breach it, but that's what we want to see. We want to see this broken. And then we want to see it come back into this area here, because once it does come back in, then it's highly likely to continue much higher. 41.37 is the next stage of this move, but a deeper correction is highly likely because of the massive move we've seen overnight. Now this is not reflected in the dollar. The dollar is slightly weak. I'll cover that in the next few minutes. This is gold alone, so safe havens are going on here for some reason. We don't mind about what the reasons are. We don't care about what the reasons are. But 40.85 is going to be an interesting area to look out for in the next few hours. Could hit it fairly shortly actually. And then we'll be looking to buy back up to 41.05 or even beyond. So look out for that. Let's go into gold on steroids software. Now, as we understand or should understand, green equals buy and red equals sell. That's it. Simple as that. And as we can see, green on the left, green on the right, green on the left, green on the right. So you're just buying into these green areas here. See that there? This is Asian session, but nonetheless it can happen anytime. So that's the only thing you want to do. Now we will be covering stops and trailing stops today because there's lots of questions coming in about that. And it is interesting, and we can also use it in tandem with market structure as well. So here on the right here, we've got a 5-minute chart, and as we can see, everything is green. So these are the buying areas. Okay, so this you want to buy here, and now your stop on the 5-minute chart is this. Okay, just trail it. If you want to trail it, just trail it, just trail it, just trail it, just trail it. So we can see that the price is coming down now and highly likely to come down into this area 40.85 as mentioned previously, because this is significant with the Asian session. So that area there is going to be the area we'll be looking at going into. See this area here, this is a block here. We can see that this is the area that we'll be going into and possibly a buying area to go higher. If it happens like that, it might just go quiet. Now in terms of the calendar this week, we've got FOMC speeches going on today, so nothing going on today, nothing going on Tuesday or Wednesday. Thursday we've got core CPI inflation figures, okay, and on Friday the same. We've got our retail sales, which is tentative, whatever that means, core PPI as well. So those are the things to look out for. So that's it on gold. So just wait for it to come down to about 40.85 and then we'll be buying it. Now in terms of the markets generally, let's go through this and I'll cover the particular open positions we've got and the reasons behind them. First of all, we've got a weaker DXY, weaker dollar to be expected to come back down into 98.40, somewhere around this area, with a very strong demand area. So while it's acting weak, we can buy into euro dollar, we can sell the US yen, and buy into the euro dollar. So let me just explain how that works, and then we can get into this a bit deeper in terms of trailing stops in particular and market continuation patterns. Okay, so this is euro dollar. It's not going to be doing a lot because species going on, so but the fundamentals are the same. We want to see that all the buys are in. Throughout all the things that we do here at the Trading Mentors, we use color coding. So whenever you see that everything is red, the price goes down. When everything is green, the price goes up. It really is that simple. And this just measures the number of buyers or the number of sellers in the market, and that's the way we treat it, and so on. How far it goes, now that's another question. Okay, but we know that the dollar is weak, and as long as the dollar is weak, this will drive the euro dollar higher to 117.17, where there is a strong sell power on that supply zone there, which could have an impact. So I think it's a nice 2.8 risk to reward, so it's fine. So let's just jump through some of the positions we've got just to explain what's going on here. This is the US yen. Remember, DXY is weak. I've just shown you that. The charts are saying sell. So this will drive US yen lower to 152.10. Now this is interesting because we can see that this has failed many times to go higher. So this is a much safer way to put your stop above there, because the trend has to change completely. And that's a very slim chance of that, of course. Can happen, but nonetheless the probabilities of this trade in particular are very high probability of it actually going down to 152.10. Euro yen is doing something similar as the US yen, but this is different reasons. This is not obviously not dollar dominated, so we have to look at the yen futures, and we'll look at that in a minute. But we can see that the price has now moved back into the supply zone, the yellow zone, with divergence, and then we can see there's a very strong sell power. 69, anything above 60 is very strong. We can dial down to the 2-hour chart. Is it doing the same thing? Yes, it is. It's even more powerful than 70 sell on supply. So it's reasonable. So looking good, and expect it to fall down to 175.28. I've got the New Zealand yen marked, but I don't know why. Aussie Swiss, mentioned this a week ago or so, coming up into strong supply. 77, very high, very highly likely to move down to 50.98 in the next few days. Doesn't matter how long it takes to get there, we're not doing anything. It's no more work to hold it than it is to trade. And many people have the myth that they have to be trading every 2 minutes. It's not the case. Trade and then walk away. Canadian Swiss, don't know why I've got that marked, but we're in the Aussie Swiss anyway. The S&P 500, I did mark this, but no real movement at the moment. Markets are pretty flat today. German DAX has had a little bit of a bounce, but nothing to talk about. The Nasdaq, I had that marked from the weekly Forex forecast, but I'm not seeing anything coming deeper yet. Euro Aussie, yeah, this is okay. Euro Aussie is okay. It's come back down to pretty much the entry point, but it's still valid, and that's the point. We still have a valid entry here as it's come down into this very strong demand there of 78. So looking really good actually, despite the fact that it's come back down again. The other thing to bear in mind is look out for the price cycle. This is the pound Aussie. If you're in this, then fine. I wouldn't be trading Euro Aussie or pound Aussie together. Doesn't seem to make sense to me. It's up to you. Euro Canadian is going against us slightly. However, it did have a change of character to the upside, and it did start to make some money. We're out the money now. But I do expect this price to bounce because of this here. We can see that the price whenever it's oversold, it tends to bounce. So we do expect a bounce in the next few days. But we're not stressed about it. We just sit tight. Similar to the pound Canadian. Aussie Canadian, we've been in this for quite some time. It's just drifting along, but looks all right. There's no reason to doubt this. It's got a kind of channel here now, isn't it? It's doing this kind of channel. So it's probably going to break to the upside and hit our target 92.20 in the next few days. Now let's talk about trading stops, shall we? Let's get into this a little bit. All right, so this is the pound New Zealand. Congratulations, members, if you traded the pound New Zealand. Nice 400 plus pips profit. And I put a super trend on here, but you can use any super trend. It doesn't matter. The important and the key point for you is that you use the same thing over and over again. So it's your chart. Do you know what I mean? It's like if you keep changing it, then it won't be your chart. You won't have the consistency that you need. So I've got a super trend here, and whenever we go short and all the sellers are in, we're going to be selling this, and then we just simply move our stop with this bit here, this red resistance area here until we're stopped out, possibly. Now, if we do have a change of character there, we're going to have a target here anyway, aren't we? Or if we have a change of character here, we're going to have our target here. So the target's already given to you before they hit. It tells you where the targets are, which is handy. There's no calculations to make. We want to make life easy for ourselves, don't we? We want to be going to play golf or do whatever we want to do with our friends and family. But so here as an instance now, to give you an example of what we are looking for, buy Paris 70 into a strong demand area with convergence, with divergence. We can dial down to the 2-hour chart to clarify if we want to. You can buy in this area, as I often do, as you've seen I often do. Euro yen is an example of that. That's not changed character yet. But then we have change of character here. See how this line drawn automatically tells you when the change of character is going to occur. See when this line is drawn, it tells you where and when the change of character is going to occur. All right, it's great. Makes it life a lot easier for you if you're waiting for that entry point there. Now, once you have that position, and by the way, hello, hello, you could trade all these. All the buys are in. So the chance of the probability of this going higher has a much more higher probability. All right, drifting now. But so in this instance here, we've got a target of 23,458, okay, which gives you 496 pips. I'm out now. I'm taking my money off the table for good reasons. 400 pips is nice. So chances going up to this area are very, very high. However, what you can do once you have that continuation pattern going up and up and up and up and up is you can actually move your stop with this green support line, because that is the change of character again, isn't it? And it will do this, and it will do this, and it will do this, and it will do this. Make sense? Now, because it's a 4-hour chart, we haven't got to worry. There's no rush, there's no panic, there's no stress. We just don't worry. We're just going to put our stop once it moves up, especially if it does this leg up here like this, then we're just going to put our stop below that area there, there and there. Makes sense? So far, so good. Hopefully that is helpful to you. But as I said, the key to this is once you have a super trend you're happy with, and there's lots of them, then you can actually just choose that one and don't change it. Just leave it as it is to get that consistency that you require. Mine's set at 10:03, by the way. So the pound Canadian as an example, we have change of character, don't we? We have what we call a 1. Well, we have the 1, which is the change of character, Then we have the 2, which is the pullback. And then we're going to have the 3, which is the profits. That's what we're looking for. And as we can see now, the oscillator is now coming into oversold territory. So this is highly likely it's going to zoom up in the next few days. But anything can happen, of course. All we're talking about is probabilities. Just want to give you some more examples if there are any around. Now, the important thing to remember about a super trend, if you are using a super trend, I rarely do, but you can't sort of move your stop with it without it moving, if that makes sense, because the super trend will be coming closer to the market. But you do have to see that it's moving in significant areas where you can actually see that the price has actually got a significant move. We haven't got a significant move here, have we? It's not, you know, we've got in here on this change of character at 52.74 and it's 52.52. We're not going to move the stop when it's 20 pips in profit. It doesn't make any sense. 100 pips, 200 pips, then fine. Or if it moves down below this area here, as an example, which it probably will in the next few days, it's down here, then you can actually start to move your stop if you wish to. But just be aware that you don't want to move the stop too quickly, too close, because otherwise you will get tripped out. So if we have a look at the euro yen, for instance, this is nowhere near having any kind of change of character. It's got a long way to go. But what I do like, there's a couple of things I do like about this. First of all, the fact it's making money. It's in the money, which is great. The super trend becomes completely irrelevant until it starts to actually make a big move, 100 pips plus, then it becomes relevant as far as a trailing stop is concerned. We can't use this as a trailing stop. It makes no sense. The other thing to bear in mind is we've got all the buyers in. Well, we're going against this. We're going against the grain. We're going against all the buyers today. But that's fine because we have a very strong sell power 70 in a supply zone with divergence. The other thing I like about this is the price cycle. See that this price is now moved way above overbought now. So it at least has to have a correction to the downside, which will give us a chance to lock in some profits along the way. And if we have a big move, then it'd be great. Now, what I do like about this in particular is the correlation between the yen futures and the yen. Now, if the yen futures goes up, all yen pairs go down. That's the correlation. We can actually see what's happening here. We have a very strong demand area with a plus 69. So that this looks like there's going to be a very big move higher, up to 67.10, somewhere like that. So something like this. Now what has happened is it's broken this trend line. It's not a very strong one, but it's a break of a trend line to this here. But it's come back down to this trend line as well, which we often see that there's a big bounce higher, which will drive the euro yen lower. Okay, so gold is coming down into the Asian session now. Not quite there yet. 40.88, 40.85 is what we want to see. I want to see this price break down quite aggressively actually, because if it does that, then it's going to be a great buying opportunity here into this area here, back to 41.05. But I'll keep you posted on that. Have a great day.